morning, everybody. Thank you yesterday for sending me through your pictures of your silhouette work. I really enjoyed seeing not just the silhouettes and the outlines from the sunshine onto the paperwork, but also the interior stuff, the way you designed them on the inside of the designs. So thank you for sending those through. Today we're going to start with our numeracy work, but don't forget, in the comments underneath I have put little links to some brain buzz, which is mental maths activities to get you warmed up for the day, and the vocabulary that's used in there is really important. And it just builds your mathematical understanding, because remember, there only are 4 operations, but there are lots of words that describe what you have to do, and to understand that language makes the lessons easier. Okay, so squares, let's take a look. We're going to be taking a look at stones, pounds, hundredweight, and we're going to have a little bit of an investigation with those. Okay, so let's jump straight in. Okay, good morning, squares. Squares, this morning we're going to be continuing our work on weight. Now we have looked at grams to kilograms, kilograms to grams, we've looked at tons. Now we're going to look at some of the more uncommon ones that we would come across, and even a historical one as well. So your learning intention is at the top. We're going to look at stones, pounds and hundredweight, and it's going to be a bit of an investigation. Now as far as the teaching goes, these 3 lines are it. Okay, so you need to learn these facts off in order to complete the work. So we will begin with 16 ounces. Now ounces is still used today, and so is pounds. Every 16 ounces is equivalent to 1 pound. Underneath that we have 14 pounds, and that is equivalent to stone. So when you stand on the scales in your bathroom or wherever you have your scales, 1 stone is a common unit of weight that would measure people in. And also pounds, you would see that more in American measurements. They weigh themselves in pounds. I'm not about to tell you what I am in stone or pounds, definitely not, that's top secret stuff. Then we also have an unusual one that would have been used more in the trade industry in England and other countries around the world. It's not common, or not as common nowadays, and that is hundredweight, and 8 stones would be equivalent to 1 hundredweight. Okay, so it's a bit of a history lesson, this one. Right, so our work today is based around stones and pounds. We even talk a little bit about the hundredweight here, and your investigation begins on this page and also continues over here, where you'll be looking at quarter pounds, like your quarter pounder burger, your half pounds, which would be a huge burger, and a pound, which would be way too big as a burger. Okay, so your investigation involves real life objects and real life measures. Good luck with that one, squares. Good morning, triangles. Now triangles, the last time we looked at our numeracy, we were working out hundredths of different shapes. Okay, so what a hundredth was and how we worked it out and how we recorded that. Now we're going to be looking at what a hundredths is when we work it out as a fraction of a set or a quantity. Now we have done this before with other fractions, but this time we're going to be doing it with hundredths. Now think back to a question we had like this, when we had to work out what a fifth of 35 was. Now whenever you're asked to work out a fraction of a number, the operation you should be thinking of is division. Okay, so division. So how would we work out 1/5 of 35? Well, the answer is 7. How did we get 7? 1/5 of 35 is 7 because we divide the 35 by 5. We divide it into fifths, and whenever we do that, the quantity we end up with is 7. The next one, 1/3 of 99. So we're going to divide the 99 by the 3 into 3 parts, and you would end up with 33. Okay, because we divided the 1/3, we divided the 99 by the 1/3 and split it into 3 groups, and each group would have 33 in it, so we divided by 3. The last one, 48 divided by 6 to split it into sixths, we end up with 8. We divide, oh, will you look at that, we did that wrong. This is the mistake, it's not divided by 8 at all. We should divide it by 6, and whenever we divide 48 by 6, we end up with 8. There's a good example of a mistake and how to correct your mistakes, okay? Right, which brings us down then, following all this logic that we've just done, it brings us down to working out hundredths. Now, how would we work out a hundredth of something? Well, think about it. If we were working out sixths of 48 and divided the 48 by 6, it's exactly the same idea with a larger fraction like 100th. So 700 divided by 100 would be 7, and we got that by dividing the number by 100. Next one, 1/100th of 4,000. We would get that by dividing the 4,000 by 100, we get 40. Okay, so we divide the 4,000 by 100 and we get 40. And finally, you might do it with quantities in terms of money. We have £1 and we've got to work out 100th of that. Now you could know the answer to that straight off the top of your head, knowing that, well, there are 100 pennies in a pound, so therefore 1/100th would be 1p. However, you could also divide the £1 by 100 to give you 1 penny. We are going to be working with amounts like this and with those types of fractions, splitting it into triangles. So here's an example of what you'll be doing today. You can see we're going to have to work out hundreds of these different amounts that we have here. We've just talked about and practiced that technique, and then further on down the page we have some other calculations for you to work with as well. Now, if you have your checkup book, do checkup 18, and if you have your topic assessment book, do your topic assessment in that area. If not, don't worry, complete that page, find it in the comments or in the links that I've sent to you. Good luck, triangles. Good morning, circles. Now, circles, we have had a busy week looking at expanded recording. We are going to put into practice exchanging our hundreds and exchanging our tens today. So bringing those two ideas that we explored earlier in the week and putting them together in one calculation. Now, this might look quite complicated, but it's really straightforward when you understand what we're doing. So let's take a look at one of the calculations. We have got 536 take away 78. Okay, we will get to the standard written method, but let's demonstrate that we know what we're doing when we subtract these numbers. So here I have written it down, and that is a mistake. I meant to tip-X that bit out. Here I have written down that calculation again, and it says 536 take away 78. So I've just done the same sum except organised them in the standard written method. Then we are going to expand each of the numbers out. Let's do this. 536 is 500 plus 30 plus 6. 78 is 70 plus 8. Now, take a look at that sum. Can we do this? 6 take away 8, we can't do that. There's more on the floor. We've got to go next door and borrow 10 from there. So as we go across, this is what I have done. 500 plus 20 plus 16. All I have done is move the 10 from the 30s into the 6s column, into the from the tens column to the units column, and showed you that with the red notation there. So now we have 16 take away 8. We can definitely do that. Okay, so we've exchanged the 10 for 10 units and added it over here. So it's now 16 take away 8. We could do that, but hold up, let's check the rest of the sum. 20 take away 70. Now we can't do that. Again, there's more on the floor. We've got to go next door. What do? We exchange 100 and bring it across to the tens column. So all I've done is copy this calculation and put it down here. It's the exact same thing, just a little bit more spread out. So we're at this situation where we're trying to take away the 8 from the 16, which we can do, the 70 from the 20, which we can't. There's more on the floor. We go next door and borrow 100 and bring it across to the tens column. And this is what this looks like. We've now got 400 because we have borrowed and moved the 100 across here to make this 120 take away 70, 16 take away 8. You definitely can do this. Let's just check, is there more on top every time? 16 take away 8, 120 take away 70, 400 take away nothing. We are good to go. So complete this calculation. 16 take away 8 is 8, 120 take away 70 is 50, 400 take away, boom boom, nothing there, is 400. Let's put these back together from the expanded version. 400 plus 50 plus 8 is 458. Now, If we have found that difficult, take a little bit of time to rewind the video to the circle section again and go over it again slowly. By all means, pause this. There's a lot going on, okay? But it's really actually quite simple when you break it down and see what we're doing at each step, okay? Don't get bamboozled by all the layout. It's just simply when there's too much on the bottom, we have to go and borrow some from somebody next door. And then we're just showing our understanding of that by setting it out like this. Now, circles, I have included a link. Whoops, we are upside down. Circles, I've included a link to this page in our comment section, or I sent you a message with it. And this is for you to practice the same sort of things that we were looking at today, okay? Exchanging tens, exchanging hundreds, that sort of thing. So set out your calculations, you can have a go at this. When you feel confident with it, you might want a bit of help from somebody at home today with this one, just until you feel confident with it. Then we're going to set you a challenge of some work to demonstrate this, doing it your own way to come up with the answers, okay? And this is on page 34, and I'll include that in the comments section as well, or send you a link. Circles, good luck. Next time we look at this sort of stuff, we'll be looking at the standard written method and shortening this all down to use a quicker way. This is really for demonstrating our understanding of what we're doing with subtraction. Okay, circles, have a good day. So literacy work for today. Now, yesterday, hopefully you had written the descriptions of being in at least two of those different places where you were, either in the boat, or you were on the island, the waterfall, on the moon, and you'd written about what you had seen and what you had heard when you were there. Now, your topic activity was to create a sort of backdrop for those in preparation for today in Microsoft PowerPoint, so that we could do a description. What I would like you to do in your literacy today is to do a read through. Read what you have written and add that in to your PowerPoint. You can do a little voice recording. Hopefully your iPad or your computer has a little microphone on it. Give that permission to access your recordings, and make a little recording of your voices reading those descriptions in. Like I say, I always like to read, write and perform. And today we're going to perform it. If you find that difficult and you can't do it, just read it to somebody who's at home. Or if you're doing it independently by yourself, read it out loud. Try and perform it with a bit of emphasis in your voice. Okay, it's important that we get practice reading things and performing out loud. So this gives us the opportunity today, either in PowerPoint or to somebody in the home. Good luck with that. I look forward to hearing it. Okay, finally, topic task time. Now, I've been loving some of the arts and crafts and the STEM activities you've been doing for me recently. We're going to add to that by doing a little science experiment, and we'll do a few more of these throughout the week, because all the materials you need should be in the home and you don't have to go out and get them, okay? So I've specifically chosen things that you should be able to do from around home. Today's is to make a lava lamp. How cool is that? So check the materials that you might need for it and the little link that I'll provide, and also it's floating by right now. Also read the instructions. It's important you are able to read and follow the instructions. I cannot wait to see how these turn out, so send me a couple of pictures. Let me see how they turn out. Okay, stay tuned. Bad dad joke coming up next, and I'll see you all tomorrow.